I did. Now, I've chosen this one because it takes place in me going to a primary school to perform stand-up comedy for kids. This was on a Red Nose Day, and my friend David Trent, who is also a comedian but at the time was a primary school teacher, booked me to do stand-up for the whole school on comedy. You were a teacher once, weren't you?
I was, yeah.
What age?
He was in his 20s by the time he was a teacher.
You know what? Well done. 11 to 18, secondary.
Oh, okay.
So you did stand up at a primary school?
Yeah, but the thing was, I thought I was going to do a gig, like one gig to all the kids at once in the whole school. And what it actually was
one at a time, like confession.
Well, it was almost but me confessing my sins to children.
Your CRB check is sent to be with more than one child at a time.
I mean, really, that is the opposite that they should be doing with it. I mean, you can't.
Let's move on from the CRB check, guys.
The CRB check's a bit shady. The more kids, the better. Well, I don't
Stop.
Let's gloss over that. What it turned out was that there was about 7 classes in the school, and I had to do stand-up to each class individually. So I was in a room with a little stage, and they would get brought in. I'd do 10 minutes, and then they'd go, and then the next class. And I was actually
like a kind of conveyor belt.
Yeah, like a conveyor belt of kids, and I was like having to
like sushi.
Yeah, they were like sushi. In that it was
There's 7 classes at the school
with my hands. Huh?
It's a big primary school, isn't it?
I was about, each class.
As you know, I was spoilt for smallness of primary school, James.
Yes, Josh. How many kids were in your primary school?
4 kids in my year.
Are you serious?
What then? Now, Romish, their names are like.
Josh all the kids' names at my school sound like I was in an Enid Blyton school. So my year was Adam Campkin. Actually, he was the year above. The year below was Christopher Campkin. Thomas Bosens. Joanna Portis. And Genevieve Waghorn.
Genevieve Waghorn.
What a year. Also, the year above, Christopher Honeywell.
Yeah. I'll never forget him.
Occasionally I'll just text James names of kids at my school.
He remembers them and texts me. Oh, always makes my day. Always.
Anyway.
So these kids didn't have ridiculous names. Oh, they might have, I don't know. But also I should point out, when I do stand-up like kids gigs, I don't do planned stuff. I just improvise, which normally
unprofessional.
Normally it's alright. The first class, it went really well. So I was like, oh great, I'm really confident now. This is great.
Well, what was it, the youngest or the oldest class?
No, they actually started with the second youngest class,
right,
and then they brought the youngest class for the next one. And David said to me, these ones are normally like an assembly. They're the most like docile, like so you really want to get them going. You really want to like rev the room up. I was like, oh, okay, fine. So I went on, and I just went on and went, come on, and then they were like, clap your hands and whoop and cheer and go crazy, kids! It's comedy time! And they were really going.
That with your voice?
Yeah, I was like that. That's how I get people going.
Okay, that's good.
I mean, I've never felt less going in my life.
Well, you're not a kid. You know, when kids hear that,
it's like a dog whistle.
It's like Red Bull straight in their eyeballs. I was like, come on, here we go, we're gonna do this. And I was like, who likes my jumper?
Say your only gambit.
I know what will get them going. Let's talk about what I'm wearing. Let's go.
What was your jumper like?
It's had a red jumper on. But I was thinking of my feet, Josh.
Who likes my jumper?
Yeah, I still do that at adult gigs. Who likes my jumper? Give me a cheer. They all cheered, mate. And then one kid shouted out, I like your trousers, and then they all cheered. I was like, this is brilliant.
That's obviously quite a bright child who's thinking outside the box.
Yeah, he's thinking added on to what he's saying.
Yeah.
I was like, who likes my shirt? Yes. And then
I mean, you're not gonna run out of clothes. Who likes my pants?
Sounds like a really sad man desperate for your appraisal. Approval of these children.
Who likes my shirt? Do you like everything I've got on, please? I've been stood outside. Just want someone to say what I'm wearing is okay. You kids know what's cool, right? You know what's hip and happening right now? I've got a date tonight. I've got a date.
Right, don't lie, mate.
So, and then one kid shouted out, "What about your socks?" I was like, "Good point." And
Good point. Well done.
I completely overlooked my socks as I'm about to move on. And so,
You think this couldn't be going any better?
yeah. So I showed them my socks. And they were like, "Yeah."
What colour were they?
I can't remember what socks I was wearing that day, if I'm honest. I think there might have been red and black stripy socks, Dennis the Menace.
Okay, good.
Showed them my socks. Loved them. Then another kid, a kid then took his shoes off and put his socks in the air, like put his feet in the air. So he had stripy socks, and I went, "He's taking his shoes off." Like, really?
You're like the worst.
Your crowd work is exceptional.
Look, kids lap this up. They love it. He's taking his shoes off.
Observational comedy boiled down to its very basic element. Actually just saying stuff that's happening.
Saying what's going on in the room. They all laugh.
Good evening, live at the Apollo. He's taken his shoes off.
Do you know what? If you did watch Live at the Apollo and audience member took their shoes off and you didn't, and the comedian wasn't referencing it, you would think there's something wrong with them. So, you know.
You would have lost the confidence of 7B.
Yeah.
So he took his shoes off.
I referenced he took his shoes off. They loved it. They really laughed. Right. Then another kid took their shoes off because the first kid got such a big laugh.
Did you think there might be a problem at this stage?
No, at this stage I was like, this is okay. I'm sure this is okay. And then they pretty much all took their shoes off, and they were all lying on their backs and waving their socked feet in the air.
And you were thinking this kid's taking a turn for the worse.
Well, they were really laughing.
Guys, do you like my watch?
Yeah. Focus
This will calm it down a bit.
Yeah. Guys, it's got 3 seconds. Come on. Stopwatch, alarm, light. Let's do them again. So they're all waving their feet in the air and really laughing. And then out of nowhere, one of them gets up and starts dancing on their own. This kid started doing...
No, you didn't preempt this.
I didn't prompt this at all. At this point, I had lost control. They were doing what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
There's probably teachers at the back going, "Never go all the way to the socks, mate. Jumper, shirt, trousers, out. Yeah. Do not overstimulate them." So one kid started dancing, and then they all got up and started dancing.
What were you doing at this point?
I was just standing there looking over at Trent at the back, like going... gestures that were saying, "I don't know what I'm doing."
I'm out my depth.
This has gone to...
Trent, this is my safety word. I'm using it. Socks. Socks. Get me out of it.
So they're all doing a dance. And by the way, it's like one of those, it's a sports hall kind of like, but it's a shiny floor. So they're dancing in their socks, and one of them does a jump in the air, and then as they land, slips and full on cracks his head on the floor, really loud.
Oh no!
And then another girl then laughed at this so much that she wet herself. Like proper weed all that.
That is not going to help the slippery fall.
No. So, I mean, you said of them, there were genuinely kids near her who were, because they were doing a dance and not looking. They weren't aware that she had done that, so there were kids dancing in their socks, which is the worst thing. And then instantly the teachers swooped in and they stop this now. and one of the teachers literally pointed at me and went, "Enough." Enough. and so then they took that class away and they cleaned up the floor, and then the next class came in and
they still let you carry on.
Yeah. But they went,
what a damning indictment of education.
But it was like I had to do a calm down version. So the next kids, it was literally like I went, right, I'm gonna tell a story, I'm gonna take it nice and slow. And I literally told a really boring story.
And in your head, was you just going, "Don't mention the jumper"?
Yeah. One of them, I can see them in their eyes going, "Is he not going to reference his red jumper?"
No, that is genuinely the saddest indictment of British education I've heard in the last 30 years. And that's why Britain is broken.
You did a septuple. That's what it is.
Oh yeah. 7 gigs in a row.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm glad, James, that Red Nose Day this year, you'll be back, presumably. If anyone at home wants to book James Acaster for their school, he'll be wearing a red jumper.
Yeah.
But don't mention his socks. Thank you very much. That is genuinely... Each week it confounds me how you get yourself into these situations, but thank you very much all the same.